welcome back to my channel, and today we're doing something very exciting because I went out and purchased the End of the World Reading Club subscription box. This is a subscription box that they do monthly. I'm not going to get it monthly. This is the first one I've got, and we'll see if I enjoy it and if I get any more. But they do monthly boxes, and it contains a book that is dystopian or post-apocalyptic. It contains lots of little other goodies, and it contains gifts that you open at certain page numbers, and those gifts have something to do with the story itself, which is very exciting, and I can't wait to get started. So let's do a little unboxing first of all. And I've stuck the sticker here just so I don't dox myself because I'm internet smart. First of all, open it up, and there's some nice specific Into the World Reading Club paper. I have already opened it, so maybe magic destroyed. But let's tuck in and pretend I'm opening it for the first time. First of all, because it's my first box, I got a little free gift. So I got this smart book light. By the way, this isn't sponsored. I just bought this with my own money. But I got this little book light that looks very cool. I think it's worth like 15 or 20 pounds. Maybe that's a lie. But feels like good value, especially for this box, because it was about £30, which sounds like a lot for one book, and it is, but I'm hoping the gifts will make up the value and also just the fun. So we have this, which is just for this first box. Then we have some little instruction cards. We've got instructions on how it all works, which isn't like rocket science, and some stuff about loyalty schemes, which isn't relevant to me at the moment. And we have this little postcard, which contains images that are relevant to the book, and on the back, just a little note from the founder. It says, when you've been running a dystopian book club for over 5 years, it's not very often that you come across a new post-apoc concept, but that's exactly what we found inside the cover of this one. It's a slow burn book full of interesting and mind-bending concepts, which strongly links to our high-tech world with the ancient natural world of healing and folklore. With this Slavic setting and the POC main character, it all adds up to a truly unique and interesting read. And then it's got this month's page numbers for the gifts. And it even comes with this little sticker book that says, open your gift now, and you can just go through and stick them on the relevant pages. And I like that there's loads of these, so if you lose any, you can use them for future boxes. We also have a bookmark that is specifically designed for the book that is in the box. This book has a lot to do with bees, I gather. And then we have our gifts, which I can't open now, but we've got a tiny little envelope, a normal envelope, and a little packet. We've got another big envelope, and then we've got a smallish gift, another kind of slightly heavier gift, and then we have this slightly bigger gift that kind of feels like a notebook or something to me. So quite a nice, fun little haul, and they each have the page number to open it on the envelope, which I think is very cute. And then, of course, we have the book, which is called We Are All Ghosts in the Forest by Lorraine Wilson. And it's quite a nice little small book, so it shouldn't take me too long to get through. So let's find out what it's about, shall we? When the internet collapsed, it took the world with it, leaving its digital ghosts behind, and they are hungry. Former photojournalist Katrina fed the overrun cities to the relative safety of her grandmother's village on the edge of a forest, where she lives a solitary life of herbal medicine and beekeeping. There we go, there's all the bees from the various gifts and postcards. When a wordless boy finds her in the marketplace with nothing but her name in his pocket, her curiosity won't allow her to turn him away. But haunting his arrival are rumours of harvest failure and rampant digital disease, stirring up ghosts, and the mood in the village starts to sour. Accused of witchcraft, Katrina and Stefan escape into the forest searching for his missing father and the truth behind the disease. If there is a cure, Katrina alone might find it. But first, she must find the courage to trust others, because the ghosts that follow her aren't just digital. So I think that sounds pretty good. I'm going to go through and put my little stickers on the pages and then get cracking on this. And I'll do it as a vlog, so I'll read along, I'll pick up the camera whenever we get to the gift, and I can let you know my thoughts on the book, and we can see what the gift is together. And then I'll come back to this studio setting to kind of review it for you at the end. Of course, I won't give any spoilers in case you want to read it for yourself. So, let's get cracking! Hi everyone, so I am just sitting down to start this book. I've read the first couple of chapters. It is fine so far, taking a little bit to get into it, but I'm not judging it too harshly yet.
and I'm just about to open my page 30 gift. So let's see what we've got. Oh, and I'm also drinking a matcha for the first time ever. It's fine. A little bee air freshener, and they were just talking about bees, so I guess that makes sense. And it smells quite nice, so there we go, gift number 1. A little bee to go with a book that's quite heavily about bees and has a lot of like bee themed things already. But very nice. Let's keep going. The next gift is at page 96. Let's hope I'm enjoying the book a little bit better by the time we get there. So it's Saturday morning. I'm here having a cup of tea and doing a bit more reading before I go to see my horse. Hence why I look kind of a mess and needing of a shower. For those that don't know, I actually am a professional horse girl. I'm an equine behaviourist. Hence this gang of horses you can see on my bookshelf. Yeah, I'm one of those. But we're just about to start chapter 10. We're going to open a gift 96, which I think is a notebook. I've guessed it already, but we'll see what kind of notebook. And I'm still trying to get into the book. We're like nearly a third of the way in, so I thought it would be a bit more exciting by this point, but it's actually like very chill. It's quite relaxing vibes. So we're still in this kind of small holding where she lives. She's like talking to the bees and the digital ghosts and like farming the land and looking after this child that she's been landed with who doesn't speak. She keeps getting like premonitions that there's going to be like a famine, the harvest is going to fail, people are going to die, the bees are going to die, and some like premonitions about this boy's father, which she has to go find, but she's reluctant to go find. But you know, that sounds exciting, but really she's just milling about the village and talking to like her friends. She's got like an autistic friend and her father. That's quite a sweet relationship, and the boy's just like been hit by a rock by some kids in the village. People are being quite discriminatory towards him because he's an outsider. I think they're worried that he is bringing this disease, this vague disease they keep talking about, into the village. And the blurb of the book does say that she's kind of accused of witchcraft and cast out from the village, which I think is about to happen. But I mean, we're nearly a third in and we're still in the blurb territory, so it's slow going. I read some other reviews and they were like, yeah, it's slow going in the beginning because it's a kind of slow living community. She's on a small holding, like farming the land, buying bread from her neighbours, and like it's just kind of encapsulates the feeling of that way of life, which I understand. But I am coming from just reading like romantasy and some more faster paced novels, so I'm finding it a little slow. But the promise of a little gift is keeping me going. If there wasn't little gifts and little incentives, I might have stopped by now. But without further ado, let's read a few pages and then open this bad boy. Oh, so cute. So we have a little bee notebook, which is appropriate because the boy who can't speak is drawing and writing in this little notebook and communicating that way. And we have the bees, which she farms and which kind of give her like visions and stuff. It goes quite nicely with our little honey scented bee air freshener. So we've got a very bee-centric collection so far. We've even got little bees on the cover. Let's hope the book also becomes more exciting in the next section. Catch up with you then. So I'm just about to go to bed, but I've reached the next gift page in my book. So I'm going to open that and then I'm going to go up and sleep at the late time of 10:30 on a Saturday night, because I'm that cool. Our main character still hasn't left the village. People are just starting to turn on her, but the boy has run away. So she's gotten a motorbike and she's about to follow him. But we're nearing the halfway point of the book, and like it's only really just getting started, and I think she's probably still going to be in this village for the rest of this chapter, and then she's going to be on her way. So it's still slow, but I'm still enjoying it. It's just not the pace that I'm used to. We have an envelope this time, so not quite sure what it's going to be. It might be like some survival facts, because that is part of the gifts in this subscription box, but I don't know what this has to do with page 22. I can't think of a survival kind of thing for this page. She's just having like a villager have a go at her for being a witch, or for maybe being infected by this digital virus that doesn't exist. So let's see what it is. We have how to make a fish trap. And that's probably because the woman that was just having a go at our main character was just coming back from fish traps with some fish. So let's see, skills for the end of the world. Let's learn how to make a fish trap. A simple funnel fish trap is a great way to boost your protein intake, as once they are built, they are a passive way to fish, leaving you free for other survival tasks like foraging, creating shelter, and finding water. Goes through your planning, goes through gathering materials, and then building the trap, how to create the funnel entrance, setting up the trap, and then retrieving your catch. And it's got a little picture to show what the fish trap looks like. Cool. Looking forward to the end of the world. I'm going to be providing all of the sushi and fish. You're welcome. I'm going to give this very important information a read, and then I'm going to go to sleep. Actually, I'm going to finish the chapter and then I'm going to go to sleep. Actually, I'm going to read my chapter and then scroll on TikTok for a couple of hours in the toxic way that I like to do, and then I'm going to go to sleep. But not before I've like thoroughly scared myself with some weird Appalachian mountain horror stories that will show up on my TikTok, and stuff about getting an agent, because that is just what my TikTok feed is at the moment, which is probably not the most helpful thing to listen to when you're about to go to sleep. Nothing more relaxing than a little bit of stress. So now it's Sunday, 2 o'clock, and I have been reading all morning because I had a good 60 to 70 pages to read to get to the next gift. What's happened in this time? I have not really been getting into the book. I have kind of been glazing over parts of it, and I thought it would get more exciting. Some stuff has been happening. So when I last spoke to you, she left to follow Stefan, who had ran away in search for his father. So she went after him, she found him, she found his dad. His dad is sick with this digital virus, and there's been lots of heavy rain, kind of floods. There was a section where wolves, some digital wolves kind of cornered them. It was fine, they escaped, it was all good. Wasn't that perilous. They've come back to the village, back to her house and her bees and her animals and everything, which is cool. And then all the villagers have come and basically kicked her out because they're scared of this virus, which has kind of transitioned to become infectious. So like kind of fair enough, but also there's an element of like racism. Everyone's quite racist against Katerina. She's the only person of colour in the village and has always been a bit of an outsider. She's starting to reveal some of her like inner ghosts, inner demons, like a little bit, but I still don't really know what happened to her sister or any of that stuff. There's quite a lot of distance in the narration style. It's like third person, and she kind of keeps people at a distance because of her past, which unfortunately keeps me as a reader at a distance and kind of not that engaged, not really caring what happens, which is a problem. So anyway, we're now on page 190. She has just left the village again, and she's reflecting on coming to the village in the first place after the crash happened. I think the crash is like where all of these digital ghosts escaped the computers or whatnot. and meeting Elizabeth and talking about baking. So maybe something to do with baking is going to be in here. It's another envelope, but it's a much smaller little envelope. Maybe we'll get something about baking, a recipe for bread or something. That would be my guess. Could be a little postcard. It's quite small. So let's open it up and see what it is. Aha! Baking. Yes. Oh, so cute. Like personalised Katrina's Katrina's recipe for this thing. We've got our ingredients and our method. Looks like some kind of apple cake with some sugar dusting. Cool, maybe I should bake that. That sounds like a good idea. And yeah, I was right. See, not just an average face, but an average mind too. So we have a bit of a shorter stint to the next gift. The next gift is like page 219 and it's a tiny envelope, so we'll see what that is. And then again, not too far to the third or sixth one, I don't know, I've lost count. And then there's quite a long stint and we have a gift towards the end. But the last two gifts are quite big and seem to be like something not paper and not in an envelope, so I'm excited to see what those are. And I'm also excited to finish the book and move on to one of the like super exciting books on my TBR. I've got like 50 physical books on my TBR. So this is feeling like a chore, which I feel bad saying. But I think, to be honest, it's just slow paced and that's fine. I'm just probably a bit brain rotted from TikTok and maybe from like more of these fast-paced romantasy kind of books that I've been reading recently, and it's probably a me problem because all of the reviews of this book have enjoyed it, so sorry, but that's my opinion. And now it's Sunday evening and I've had quite a productive afternoon. I filmed quite a lengthy video and I also wrote about 1,500 words, 1,500, so that was pretty good. The book is making headway. I've had a nice takeaway for dinner since it's Sunday and I've just sat down to read up to the next gift, which is a small little envelope. Could be a QR code. I watched a vlog of someone else doing this earlier. There wasn't that many on YouTube, so maybe people will like this. But she had a little envelope like this and it was a QR code, so we shall see. And where are we in the book? So we've learned a little bit more about our main character's past and her sadness and regrets, and she's nursing this man back to health. He's still unconscious, but this page she's been like referencing owls. She references nature a lot, but she's been referencing owls, so that could come up. And she's mostly been feeling in her feels, emotional and worried that she's going to be left all alone if this man wakes up and him and his son go off to live their life again. She might end up on her own since she's been ostracised from her community, so something about that might come up. Let's have a look and see what it is. Yes, it's a little QR code. Hopefully my camera doesn't try to scan it right now. And a cool picture of a house, which is very Howl's Moving Castle. It's got legs, so there's some like creepy skull imagery. I know it's a bit blurry, but take my word for it. So I'm going to stop filming, I'm going to scan the QR code and I'll come back and let you know what it was. So I watched the video. It was about Baba Yaga, who was mentioned on this page actually. She is a character in Slavic folklore. She's basically like a witch. She's sometimes portrayed as like a friendly old woman that like helps the hero out, and other times she's portrayed as like a horrible old woman who eats children basically. And in the book she was basically saying that she could become a benign Baba Yaga, all the strength and singularity and none of the cannibalism, because she was reflecting all about her loneliness and wanting to be alone, but being worn down by the relationship with this boy and kind of that found family-ness of it all. So yeah, it was a very interesting little video. If you want to learn more about Baba Yaga, the video was just on YouTube, so you can probably just search for it and learn some stuff, and there's a Wikipedia page about it as well, so that can probably do a better job of explaining it than me. I'm going to finish this chapter and then veg out, watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm on episode 1, and then go to bed. And then tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to finish this. Maybe, maybe not. I've got work. I've also got writing group, so we shall see. But we'll definitely get to the next gift, which is only 30 pages away or so. And then we'll see how long it takes me to get to the final gift and the final page. Good morning, it's Monday morning and I have my coffee. I'm just about to start work, but I read another couple of chapters and I've made it to the next gift last night. So I thought I would just open my gift before I start work. The page is 247. It's kind of a dark night of the soul kind of page where she's kind of walking away and has a lot of regret. I haven't really reread it because I'm scanning it since last night, so I have no idea what this gift is, but it's quite a nice big one, so let's see what it is. Ooh. We have some squashies. Don't know why. Maybe she needed to pick me up because she's sad. Don't know. Maybe I'll reread the page and figure out why. Perhaps she's having some apples and cherries. I don't know. But pretty good. Not mad at it. I can now munch on these throughout the working day. Fabulous. I will pick up with you for the final time. Probably like in the dead of night before I go to sleep again. Because I've now got about 60 or 70 pages to go till I finish the book, and the last gift is like 4 pages from the end. So I'll come back with my final thoughts on the whole book and the final gift. The last little section has been a bit better because some stuff's been happening and we've been getting some reveals, but God, it took a long time to get there. And like, do I care that much about those reveals? No. Not really, because it's not really got me there emotionally up to this point, because she's been so emotionally distant and just been like bee farming and doing stuff like that, tossing herbs at some ghosts. So I'm kind of looking forward to finishing and cracking on with my TBR, which is sad to say because it's not a badly written book at all. It's good, it's just maybe not for me, and that's fine. Not everything is for everyone. And now it's time to lock into work. Good evening. It is 10 o'clock on Monday night and I have finished the book and I'm just about to open my last gift, which was like the 4th last page. The page was a bit nondescript. They talked about lemon balm and a little bit about lavender. So I think this final gift, which is a little box thing, I think it might be some herbs, which will be very apt because the whole book has been about bloody herbs. So if I don't get any herbs, it's not going to make sense. Let's just open it and have a look, shall we? Ooh. This is some mini garden snips, which is great because I just bought a house and now I have a garden, so I can maybe grow my own herbs and sniff them. And apparently it's got a little safety belt pouch thing too. Let's see, haha. love that they've just literally sent me like a weapon. But that's cool. It's going to be great for cutting up some herbs. And if an apocalypse does happen, might double as a handy little weapon. So let's just do a little recap of what we got. We've got some little herb snippers. We have a little honey bee air freshener because bees were a big feature of the book. We got some squashies, nice little snack in the apocalypse. A little card with a YouTube video, QR code all about Baba Yaga. A recipe for this delicious cake. How to make a fish trap. Good tips for the end of the world. And this adorable little bee notebook. All in all, I think I was really happy with all the gifts. I thought they were all nice little surprises. They kept me going and I'm glad I did it. It was a nice little subscription box. My final thoughts on the book, it didn't really pick up for me. Didn't have the emotional impact that I wanted. It was very much a story that was like The Last of Us, kind of older jaded person, young person, and they kind of resist letting them into their heart, but then eventually they do, and they start to get over their trauma. Except the boy's dad is in it as well, and that's part of letting more people into her heart. Not in a romantic way, but he has like a link to her past and what went down with her sister, so that came full circle. That helped her kind of process some trauma. But I'm a huge Last of Us fan. The Last of Us is really exciting. Lots happens in The Last of Us and we get a lot of emotional depth and transformation in the characters, which there is a bit here, but I think it was a bit lacking, and it was lacking some excitement, and it honestly just never picked up for me. I felt like today I was really just like rushing for the end, almost skimming it in places because I just wasn't that into it, and I've got so many other books on my shelf that I'm dying to read and this just didn't hold my attention. So that is a bit of a bummer, and I think maybe I just got unlucky. I would definitely do the subscription box again because I think it's a really cool idea, and it's kind of the genre that I write in, this post-apocalyptic dystopian genre. So I think it's great company and I'll continue to support them and maybe do another one, but I just hope I like the book a bit better next time because the book really is the main draw. And if you don't like the book, it sort of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. But oh well, it was a relaxing read, let's say that. And there was some nice moments, so it's not 100% negative. But am I glad it's over? Yes. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm not going to get on the light and the mic and do a whole proper sum up because I think I've said everything I need to say. I'm tired. I'm going to go and pick another book to read, something that's going to be really exciting, and go to bed. Let me know if you enjoyed this vlog and if you want to see me do another one. I do have a subscription. I'm not going to get it every month, but maybe like once a year, twice a year. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in watching again. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more bookish content and follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching. Bye!